Hi, welcome to Keeping Up with Your Children. My name is Megan Morgan. I'm a doctorate of physical therapy with Morgan Hill Orthopedic Sports Therapy. I'm here today to help you better understand how you can protect your body while caring for your children. This course will help parents, grandparents, and caregivers understand basic body mechanics when caring for your children. It is important to protect your own body and optimize how you move in order to reduce the risk of injury. Let's face it, sometimes our kids make us move quicker than we'd like, and we don't really have a choice in how we move. But the times that we do, we should focus on using the best body mechanics in order to protect our own bodies. Here you will see a list of the topics we are going to cover today. The first is going over basic body mechanics, and then we're going to show the best way to place your child into and take them out of a crib and a pack and play. Then we're going to go over the best way to get them into their car seat, carry around that infant car seat, and then get that car seat into and out of the car. We'll also go over some ways to reduce the stress on your body while you're feeding your infant and your toddler, and then when they're ready for that high chair, how to get them into and out of the high chair. And lastly, we'll go over some helpful tips for when you want to get down on the floor and play with your kids. Let's get started. In this video, I will be demonstrating some basic body mechanics that I will refer to throughout the presentation. As you can see at the start of the video, I turn my feet and body towards the step stool. This is called squaring off to the object. Then I squat down and I pull the step stool in towards my stomach as I engage my core, pulling my abdominals back towards my spine. Then I return to standing by lifting with my legs. Then at the end, I am showing what I mean by hip hinging. This is keeping a flat back as you bend forward. It is very important to do this to protect your spine as you need to bend forward instead of rounding through your back, which can place stress throughout your back muscles. As you can see here in these videos, I'm going to be placing my son into the crib. He's 20 months old, so he can stand. So this makes it a lot easier in order to get him out, but then it also puts the crib on the lowest setting. So as you can see, I walk up to the crib standing as close as possible, and I make sure I'm squared off to the crib. And then I perform a squat and a hip hinge to maintain a neutral spine as I set him down. Then when I go to take him back out of the crib, I repeat those same steps, but I really make sure with this one that I engage my core as I lift him up and bring him in close to me. Then I turn my body all the way around in order to be able to squat and lower him to the ground. It's important not to lift and rotate to get them out of the crib. When your child is younger and they can't quite stand, you tend to have the crib setting a little higher. So when they're sitting, you can get them from a seated position, and I would encourage to do that before lifting them out. But when they're an infant and they're not sitting yet, you will have the crib at the highest setting. When you do need to lower them into the crib, totally horizontal, once you've gotten them to sleep and you're going to lay them down, it's very important that you try to keep your back as flat as possible, but there is going to be a point that you will have to round in order to keep them flat as you lower them down to the mattress. But you do your best as long as you can to keep that flat back. These next 3 videos, I'm going to demonstrate how to put your child into and take them out of a pack and play, which is very similar to the crib videos, except you have to squat further down in order to place them lower to the ground. So as you can see, I step as close as possible, I square off, and then I take a wider stance as I'm going to need to squat deeper. Then when I go to lift him up, I repeat the same steps, but now I engage my core as I lift him out and bring him in close to me and turn around. Lastly, I'm showing you as if I had an infant who's unable to sit or stand and going to be needing to lay them all the way down in a horizontal position. So I step up and then I squat down and then I try to keep a flat back as best as possible as I extend my arms straight to lower them onto the mattress. This video is going to show you how to lift up your infant car seat and 2 different ways you can carry it around. Before you go to lift up your car seat, it is very important you make sure the handle is in the locked position, of course, for the child's safety. So you're going to step up to your car seat, do a squat, keeping it close to you. You can do a 1-arm carry where you loop your arm under and hold and bring it close to your body as you walk around. But once they become larger, you need to probably have your second hand on the front of the car seat to even out the weight. And my 20-month-old decided he missed his infant car seat, so he decided to come climb in. But it gave me a chance to show you how I squatted down and knelt on the ground in front in order to place him in the seat and get him strapped in. Now I'm going to show you how to put this infant car seat into the car. So as you step up to the car, keep the car seat as close to you as possible as long as you can. You're going to step 1 foot into the car to come into a lunge position as you lower the seat into the car. Then you're going to try to keep your back as flat as possible as you make adjustments, hip hinging your spine forward. Then when you go to take the car seat out, you also need to put your foot up into the car. Bring the car seat as close to you as possible as you lift out and return to standing. Now, once your child is no longer using an infant car seat and they've moved up and you have to lift them into the car with their car seat already in the car, you need to follow the same basic mechanics of keeping them close to you as long as you can, step up to the car, squaring off, lift a foot into the car so you can then lower them into their seat with your body as close to the car seat as possible. And then when you go to lift them out, you're going to do the same thing. Step a foot into the car, then they're right there and you can encourage them to sit up and turn towards you, and then you're going to have an easier time bringing them close into you as you actually lift them out. And then at the end you can see how I turn around before I squat down to lower him to the ground. This way I am minimizing rotating through my spine. When they get a little bit older than this, you can even encourage them to climb into the car on their own so you don't have to do as much lifting. But of course, you just spot them for safety, and then you just have to keep a flat back as you adjust their seat. Here I'm going to show you how to lift your child into their high chair. So as you can see in the video, I go to lift him up, but I recognize I don't have the best position. So I come in front of him, squat down, lift him up, and then I bring myself as close to the high chair as possible in a staggered stance, 1 leg in front of the other, and lower him into the chair. When you are feeding them when they're younger, and you're actually needing to spoon feed them, it's really helpful to turn your chair to face them so you're not constantly rotating your whole body as you feed them each bite. So just hold whatever it is you're feeding them from in your hand, and then you're facing them instead of rotating with every bite. And when you go to take them out of the high chair, same mechanics that we've been discussing throughout, and that you need to be as close to them as possible, lift them up into you, and then stand up from a squat. Here I'm showing you how you can use pillows to help support the baby and decrease the amount of work on you while you feed your infant. So you can place a pillow underneath your arm to help support the weight of the baby, so your arm can be a little bit more relaxed rather than in a constant state of holding and having to work while you feed the baby. It's important to switch sides, not only for your arms to not have asymmetries develop, but also for the development of the baby. You can also see in the video that I'm really trying to keep my wrist relaxed on the arm that's holding the fox, so I'm not gripping my hand inward over using my forearm, what we call flexors, to hold the baby. I'm trying to be as relaxed as possible. If you are breastfeeding, I highly encourage you to work with a lactation consultant or take some courses on the variation of breastfeeding pillows there are out there to help bring the baby up towards you so you're not rounded over your infant as you spend all that time feeding them. It really can be beneficial to find the right setup so it's a lot less stressful on your muscles and body. The next, I'm just showing a simple stretch you can do when you have some time. From all the carrying of the kids, it can really stress your upper body. So coming into a prayer position with your hands can help stretch those forearm flexors that I talked about a little bit ago. You can hold that stretch itself for 20 to 30 seconds, and then you can repeat 5 repetitions of arm circles where you take your arms up and over your head, open out wide, really trying to open your chest as you bring your arms out into a goalpost position and back around. I also like to do this against a wall. I call them wall angels. It can be really helpful stretch for your chest and back.
Do you find this position isn't very comfortable on your back? Try to grab a pillow or even a folded big beach towel. Place it underneath you. See if that feels a little bit better. You can also uncross your legs if that's too much pressure and have your legs out in front, slightly bent. When it's time to get up, you can also use this pillow or towel to help you cushion under your knees. You can come onto your knee. Make sure to untuck your back toes. You can also decide if you're going to pick up your child with you at the same time. Bring them close to you, and you could use a stable surface to help yourself stand on it.
Thank you for listening to my presentation. By just keeping some basic tips in mind, you can protect your body while you are caring for your children. You can transform your day-to-day activities with your children into strength training. Remember, pass this knowledge on to other caregivers in your children's lives.